Well, hello and welcome back. Today, we're just going to continue on with Krastorio 2 here. So, what I just need to do first off is, I need a bit more space to expand my factory, so let's go on and place a whole bunch of, well, turrets down, so I actually have a little bit of defenses to know if enemies be attacked. Probably not going to be attacked because I've kept the base, culled by the bases that were within range of my pollution cloud, but either way, I still just want to be better safe than sorry, so getting a bunch of these gun turrets down will help out in that regard. Gives me a little bit more space there, and figured there's a few spots I could actually put more into. Keep it a bit on the nicer side here. With that, go through, pick up the random ones there, and continue on with over here going from these water sources, which makes a great natural barrier. So we've got one which has a nice choke point there, so set up from there and just go down and all the way across. It's got to the point where I'm just putting 50, well, magazines in each gun turret, so it should last a decent amount. It's not too bad at the moment. And what else is just going through and picking up a bunch of stuff and getting a bit more ammo because, well, you need quite a lot of ammo to get through all of this here. So with that out of the way, go through, pick up these other ones, and just keep it in a fairly straight line to get me a decent amount of space. It's not going to be perfect overall, but it's going to last long enough that I can actually expand out a bit more. And so with these last few down, that will do enough for now. We can start thinking about how to progress next. Oh yeah, there's also this section over here. Might as well get that down as well. That should be good enough. There's this cliff here which acts as a nice barrier, so that works out. And so with these last of these gun turrets being ammoed up, we can move on to the next part, which is actually going to be expanding my power production. Doesn't quite too much, but I still want to clear out a bit of space and start producing everything I need. And also figuring out exactly where I want to put it because, well, there's like 60 odd boilers I need to place down. So, toying with the idea of like having it all in one straight line, but going, that's just way too long. So, we'll just split it into two lines here, about 20-30 a piece, and just place down what we've got at the moment, which is quite a lot of stuff. Not to mention I actually clear out the space necessary to be able to fill in, but this works out here. At least would if I... Oh yeah. Just have to make sure I got enough space here. And get the spacing correct, put the pipes down to connect them up. Make sure we get everything in the correct spot. And the transport belt for where the fuel comes in. We also can make sure it's connected up to the board, which is great. With that, we just need to get the burner inserts to be able to insert the fuel into the rest of the boilers here, which doesn't take too long to craft them up, but it's always better to use a burner inserter because, well, that way, if you ever have a blackout or brownout, it can always restart itself once more. That out of the way, get a few more belts so we can actually get the coal line hooked up, and then see about getting the rest of everything else here, namely the boilers that I need. Need like what, 60 odd, not quite a lot of them, so get enough iron to craft that up, and also get the small electrical poles to be able to connect everything up. Now just gotta wait for that all to finish crafting. With that all done, we can actually go through and get the rest of them placed in, which, if my math is correct, I should have exactly enough here. Originally thinking that, yeah, I was going to place the single one on the end on the top there, but there's actually a better spot for it because, well, there's a cliff, I can't go there. And so with those all placed down for where they're going to be, we can tear up the old one, which is initially just going to stop it, but the power, but it's fine. Still have enough room to be able to get everything in. Let's go get the last of the few things in here. So with that, just place down the last of the power, the pipes and the power poles. Click and drag as usual. And all we need to do now is just connect up the power, connect the fuel in, and everything should be running just about smoothly, except you need to put the offshore pump in with its own separate power supply, which is just going to be the windmill, because, well, that provides enough for it. With that out of the way, we can move on to the next part, which is actually going to be seeing about getting a full belt of steel capacity going through, which is quite a lot. It's fairly simple, because all we need is, what, iron and coal coke for that, so you can get that running with like 48 of them, and doing the same old way of going about things here, which is just, well, having the loaders unloading from there and doing the split belt. 2 split belts with the appropriate ones. Just need to get everything here. So, I need the inserters as well to be able to insert in and also get the belts down. Very well done. Just make sure everything's going down correctly and that there's no underground belts, so we can actually get everything nicely in. All the inserters in here, we can see that this should work nicely. Now, just quickly go through and think about adding a couple more things here. Apart from the fact that we do need to bring another belt of iron in, so split it and put half way down and it should work out nicely. Now, the question is, where do I put the iron belts here? Next to it, which means I'd have to bring them back up and get the spacing right there, which can be a bit on the annoying side. Or we'll just put it up top and just feed them in from up here. Should work out very nicely. So now, just need to get everything and have this all running up nicely. Just a matter of building up, which doesn't take too long because I know exactly what I'm doing here. And just placing it all down, which just takes quite a long time. But with this, we'll have everything necessary to be able to get a full belt of steel throughput. The only issue is I'm not going to have enough iron, or iron ore input, because, well, I have nowhere near enough. But that will be solved eventually when I switch on over to getting more iron from elsewhere. But with all that, we get the iron being extracted from the furnaces and make sure we have enough of everything to clear it up. Just need a few more of those, and the power poles and inserters in. Doesn't take too long to get it all down. Hand pacing actually does quite a bit, but hey, we get it done, and then we just need to place the power poles in. Just usual simple click and drag. Now that, we just need to figure out how we're going to get another 4 belts of iron ore up to the iron smelting up here, which is a bit on the annoying side, and also need to provide fuel as well. I think I have to provide also down to the steel, which doesn't necessarily turn out to be the case. Now, let's go for a simple 5 to 6 splitter balancer, because yeah, 2 belts going there, 4 more belts going elsewhere. Need to make a bit of space to be able to fit this 5 to 6 in, and then just redirect the inputs and outputs to the appropriate spots here. I've got to build it up, which without robots makes this it's a very annoying thing to do, but we can do it and just connect up all the inputs and just got to figure out how to get these 4 belts of iron ore up. Because the annoying thing is there are cliffs in the way. If there wasn't any cliffs, it'd be super simple, just be able to drag it up. But because there are cliffs, I need to figure this out. And annoyingly, I can't fit that belt up there, and I can't bring that one down. So we can only fit like 4 belts going through here, which would actually be perfect amount. But because I don't really need to bring this fuel down, which doesn't really occur to me until I start doing a few things here. Because originally I do actually redirect 1 belt all the way up and around the long way past all this ore up here. I think that'll work until get all the other ones done and see, yep, That's fine. Realize, yeah, I don't actually need to bring the fuel down because we're going to have coal coke, which works as a fuel as well. So, redirect it back around to a shorter route. Not only, but hey, it'll work. Also, to purge all the iron ore that's on these belts from a misplaced belt, which was feeding it onto the fuel input. So that is a bit on the annoying side, but hey, you can get it to work. And just throw all that ore into there to make it work out nicely. And now, coal coke, which means we just need coal and wood. So it's fairly simple. Both those are fuel, so you don't really need to worry about what one's going to be used as fuel. And just feed everything in, and this is enough coal coke to be able to feed the steel furnaces there. I just need to get the inputs of both the coal and the wood coming from elsewhere. We actually have quite a nice spot for them, so easy bring them over to the appropriate spot. So we have coal and wood coming through, coal coke being made, and now we just need to provide the coal up to here. And also finish redirecting the ore here. Make sure everything is connected up nicely. And of course we run out of belts constantly because we're only making 400 at a time, but works out. So that we should have enough coal coke being made. I'll just add a few more just to make sure we have plenty. And we have the iron coming through, which means we have steel production up and running. With that done, we can go on and start thinking about getting rails done, which means we need quite a few things. Logistics to engines, well, green automation cards, and a few other things. But with that out of the way, we can actually go through and start getting green circuits being made. It's a bit of a different recipe, but it actually works out nice because it's a 1:2 ratio for SM copper cable assemblers to the electric circuit. So let's go get that all set up, and this actually works out nicely here. Doing the usual thing and just feeding in as best as we can and as small as we can. Get everything powered, and we just need to feed in, well, iron, copper, and wood to be able to make this, which is quite a lot, but works out nicely. After that, we can get the green tech cards being made and make sure it's all going to one side, and then just need to figure out exactly how I'm going to go with it. There's always the option of going 2 belts next to each other concurrently, or we have one more option here, and that is a bit of a nice one in my opinion. It's just also figuring out exactly how I'm going to get everything here. So you could do it that way. Okay. Oh, I do actually end up going that way. Yeah, well, it works. So now we just need to bring the iron copper over for the basic tech cards, the blank tech cards, to be able to feed everything in. And yeah, with that, we should have green tech cards being made, and we do too. So now we just need to route them all the way down to my labs down here. So that works out, which allows me to progress on with a bit more. And with those green tech cards figured, they're being produced about 1 a second, so we can afford about to get even more. So first, if we add 5 more labs, and then another 5 to have a total of 15, which should be enough to keep us going. And with that out of the way, we've got a bunch of research done to be allow me to get trains and stuff. We see here that just getting the last of everything, so we make a simple bus sort of thing just to be able to grab everything I need, and that's just bring in copper, iron, wood, steel, and the electronic circuits. Also, I can start making the rail stuff, which is a lot. Just figuring out exactly how I'm going to do it, what is most appropriate to have next to each other and feed into each other. Namely because the trucks and the, well, cargo wagons need to actually have the steel beams. So, I have those next to each other, next to the steel beam. That turned out to be the only ones that need the steel beam, so that works out nicely. And of course, both the signals require the same thing, so that's very simple. Now we just need to feed in everything else. So we have a steel and iron line. Then we bring in everything else necessary here. got train stations being made, the locomotives which require engines, which the engines require pipes and gears, which is quite a lot, but I could fit all that in. And now, for the actual rails, we need to bring down some stone. So we just go up to where the stone's being marked, and then bring it down, and then have a combined belt of stone and electronic circuits. And with all that, everything should work out once I unload everything connected up, which it does. And so go through and feed in a couple more things that need to be fed on the end here, namely getting some fluid oil processing, which I did get researched as well. So oil processing, and now we just need to start thinking about how we're going to get the oil over, which of course the simplest way is just with trains. So start off with a basic, train system here, which is just going to be 3 fluid wagons and 2 locomotives for a back and forth double-headed shuttle. And so we need to bring fuel in, and just checking with the inserted loads that actually load in without me having to do anything. So get those loaded in, and then we just need to figure out exactly how I'm going to unload everything, because we need about 18 full throughput tanks and pumps. And of course the best way is you actually unload directly into the pumps, from pump directly into tanks, because the tanks pipes don't have the capacity to be able to do that. So have 3 pumps unloading from each wagon, because that's the max you can do. And so in total we have about 9 tanks worth of oil it'll be unloaded here. And we just have some underground pipes going to the appropriate tanks as well. Now, the long walk over where I need to place down all these train rails to connect it up, and get to the perfect spot where we can just fit everything in with the appropriate spacing. So get all 9 of them down, and of course we got to clear out a couple of these, this spider nest here, because it's a bit in the way, and there's a lot to do, especially with that medium worm. It's annoying just to clear it out with just the basic submachine gun and ammo, but we do a bit of dancing just to make sure that the worms are speeding to where I'm trying to go, so we're avoiding it. With that out of the way, you can actually go through and place down all the oil pump jacks, which in Krastorio 2, the oil only has a certain amount in there, not like in normal vanilla where you can have infinite amount of oil coming from it. And out of the way, we can, having the train down already with fuel, we can actually summon it over to actually be able to take it back yet again. And so just need a few things, and also get some basic stone wall production set up so I can actually have some defenses over here, because I'm not sure how well it's going to work out. Whereas that we also need to be able to unload the oil here. So get that done and start crafting up the big electric poles to transport power over. I know we could use small ones, but the big ones are, more efficient. We've actually got that research as well. So just waiting for the last little bit to craft so I can get these last few over and get the last of the pumps in and get everything connected up with the appropriate pipes here. It's not perfect, but hey, it works. Now, you see here that, yep, everything connects up, so everything lines up correctly, and we still need some more iron to actually make the rest of the pipes we need, so there's that. Well, although that iron and a couple hundred pipes, we can connect all the pump jacks up, and then, with medium electric poles, we can, and combination of medium electric poles and normal poles, we can connect all the pump jacks up to the power and get it running. But before we actually get them running, I want to get some defenses here in case we do get attacks of buyers over here. So just go the simple route of a bunch of gun turrets filled up with ammo, and that's where these concrete walls are going to come in handy as well. But we connect all that up because this is enough to at least protect it temporarily, so we can get a bit more permanent one. And with some basic automation, we can easily have it set to so the train only waits at this station to fill up until full cargo, and then heads on to the other one to empty out, which emptying and filling when the tanks are appropriately empty or full goes really fast with 9 tanks. So out of the way, you can start thinking about getting some basic oil at the moment, which is just enough to get fuel for a car, which I've also got automobile researched, which means we're going to need quite a few engines to do all that. But it's very simple. We just need petroleum gas turning into solid fuel, and then solid fuel and hydrogen, which is a bit of a nuisance because we need the electrolyzer and bring sand over, and not to mention we've got to store the excess chlorine as well, just to be able to get fuel to be able to use a car, which is annoying but doable. So bring the water over and realize I need the electrolyzer, so grab a bit of glass, and also need to bring the sand down for that because we need the chlorine. Oh, we need the sand to be able to make it somehow. And then we just connect it up and realize, yeah, just a little bit closer, so maybe the electrolyzer just within range of the medium electric power pole, and then we get fuel being made. Very simply. And now we have a car which we can use for exploring. With all that done, we can actually go through and get a little bit of more research going for more oil stuff, and start expanding out into even more oil production. May seem a bit weird with just going this one road, but I am setting up for a little bit later expansion if I change from like the most basic oil production, petroleum gas production, to the advanced ones. So that's why I'm setting up with the underground pipes and oil like this, so I can easily just add in water when it's needed and pull out the light and heavy oil from the other ones. Hence why just making sure that everything's running in nicely, which always running short on a few things. But with the oil coming through, we can get the petroleum gas line down to where it's going to be, and start thinking about sulfur and plastic, which at the moment I'm just going to have 4 of each chemical plant for sulfur and plastic, because don't need a massive amount, but just need some to get started. And we just need to connect the petroleum gas up and the water, which fairly simple. And also set that up in a way so it doesn't actually cross over any of the underground pipes that's going to be there. So, bit of that, bit of power connected up to everywhere. We should be in a good position here. You see, yep, we got sulfur being made from the petroleum gas, but forgot that the plastic actually needs coal as well. So, need to go bring that down as well from on other lines, which we definitely need to start thinking about more resources here. It's all just a matter of just getting the appropriate, resources routed around here, which is turning my base into a bit more of a spaghetti base at the moment. But with that out of the way, we can actually start thinking about going for a few things here. Now you're going for cliff explosives, which we need explosives military 2 for, and also because we've got logistics too, we can upgrade our international belts to fast ones. And with all that done, we've got decent sources of those coming through. We can get cliff explosives set up. It's a matter of making explosives, barrels, and grenades, which those are all fairly simple because we have sulfur, iron, copper, and steel, iron, coal, and steel. Feed those into the appropriate spots and output them here, and we'll have cliff explosives being made kind of post haste, which works out pretty nicely for me here. Well, for future expansion. Now we just need to put the sulfur and coal into one belt, and that's cliff explosives, and get the water connected up. Now with that out of the way, looking at, I could actually get the chemical tech card as well. Not too hard, because I already have everything, just about everything necessary except for the advanced red circuits. But hey, you can get at least the basic ones down here with the semi-machine 2s to be able to produce 1 a second. We'll also need going for the alternate way of feeding 2 belts in 1 line, so it works out. And we need even more basic cards, but good thing we got them being made here, so we need to just divert some of the iron copper to make that as well, and feed them to the appropriate spot. Now, we need 3 assembly 2s of the red circuit production, which also requires 2 assembly machine 1s of the electronic components, which needs, copper cable, plastic, glass, and copper of some variety. Just getting them all filled in, which there's a bit of an issue there, but we'll solve that later. So, out of the way, just need to make sure we've got everything I need and figuring exactly how I'm going to, well, bring everything together here. Maybe because we've got the red, well, fast transport belts, we can actually shorten it up where the extra belt comes through. And now, just need to figure out how to get the plastic and sulfur up there, because we need sulfuric acid for the chemical tech card. So this actually works out nicely. But initially we just bring the plastic up for, well, the red circuits, and also a few other things. That's right, we need silicone, so that means we need to do a few other things here. We need to make quartz, and then we need to smelt the quartz into silicon. So we do that, we bring the plastic and sulfur up, and then we'll split off the sulfur to make sulfuric acid, turn the plastic up to go join the belt of quartz, and then bring the glass over to be able to make everything. So, with that all out of the way, we just need to finish connecting a few things up. Oh, bring the sand and coal ore over just so I can actually make the quartz. Sand going into the filtration plants and the coal feeding everything else. Get the last of the inserters nodes in, get it all powered up, and iron in, because the sulfuric acid needs iron as well. Connect the water up and bang, we'll just have another pump here, because why not? Got plenty there. We have silicon being made, and we just need to bring the red circuits out and join up with the glass to be able to make the chemical science packs, which is all looks pretty good. Realizing that, yeah, the middle one's not actually getting anything it needs to be able to make it, so we do that, and yeah, we've got blue tech cards as well. So that's pretty good, which we can then start thinking about getting the electric furnaces, which is great for expansion. But I think with that, it's a good spot to call the end of the episode here. So that, I'm going to say thank you all for watching. If you like what you see, then you can always comment, like, subscribe down below. And if you want to, you could also come join me over on my Discord or my Twitch. I stream every day over on twitch.tv/expert12 every Monday through Friday. And that, thank you all again for watching. Have a wonderful day, and Expert12 signing out. See ya!